Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. The double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rules well, peace, and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is The Whole World Pretty Much is Saying Woe to Him that Increaseth That Which Is Not His. How long? Right? And of course, I got that from Habakkuk, the second chapter, right? The sixth verse. I'm gonna get it from 1. It says Habakkuk 2:1, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. Right? So the prophets and in the Lord, right, will carry the 100% truth, the correct message to give you understanding of, what's happening. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. They will tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So these prophecies, right, they will speak at the end, and we're at the end, and they are speaking. It says, behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith, right? And this is talking about the wicked. And the wicked has been revealed in these last days, right? Starting with the Edomites, starting with the head of that, the Amalekites, right, over there in the land of Israel. It says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell in is as death, and cannot be satisfied. But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, right? So all these nations would say, woe, destruction to this person that keep increasing that which is not his, and how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. So he has a massive debt, right? He's trying to go out and conquer everything. And how long are you going to do this for? Let me grab this in a different Bible, right? Let me try the AMP. It says, will all these victims of greed not take up a taunting song against him, and in mocking derision against him, say, woe, judgment is coming to him who increaseth that which is not his? How long will he possess it? And woe to him who makes himself wealthy with loans? All right. And ultimately, the whole world is saying this, uh, you know, to America. Right. So I was looking at this right here, and it made me ask Google a question, and Google turned to AI, and I asked AI a question, which we'll get to. But it says, Qatar, Oman, Saudi Arabia urge U.S. against striking Iran. Right, Gulf countries, particularly Saudi Arabia, Oman, and Qatar, are cautioning the U.S. against launching a new strike on Iran. The Wall Street Journal reported, citing sources. According to the newspaper, in private contacts, the Arab states warned the U.S. administration that any such move would cause turmoil in oil markets and ultimately harm the U.S. economy. Saudi Arabia has also informed Washington that it does not intend to be drawn into a conflict between the U.S. and Iran and will not allow its airspace to be used for strikes. Okay, and ultimately that's the point. So I'm like, yo, who has not said, yo, don't do this, don't strike Iran? Because everyone's saying it's a bad idea. You have your different analysts saying it's a bad idea. People saying America's not ready, but we understand and know, pursuant to Jeremiah 50 and 45, that Israel is going to drag America into this war. And when I asked them these questions, really and truly, the only person that it told me that was for the war was Israel. Everyone else is no. Watch, right? So it says, I asked it, this is what I asked Google. I said, has NATO warned U.S. not to attack Iran? It says, as of January 2026, NATO has not warned the the United States against attacking Iran. In fact, recent official statements from the alliance have largely supported U.S. military actions in the region. Now, I don't really read the rest of these things we're talking about, and it's false. So I was like, is Turkey in NATO? It says yes, Turkey is a member of NATO and has been since February 18, 1952. As of January 2026, it remains a critical and active part of the alliance. I'm like, okay. Has Turkey warned U.S.? It says yes. Turkey has issued a series of increasingly sharp warnings to the United States regarding potential military intervention in Iran as of January 2026. I said, so why did you lie? And it says, I apologize for the confusion, but my previous response was not a lie. There is an important distinction between a warning from NATO as an organization and a warning from an individual NATO member like Turkey. I said, okay. How many NATO members has warned U.S. so far? As of January 2026, Turkey is the only NATO member to have issued a direct formal warning to the United States against military intervention in Iran. And I think like Germany and Turkey is like the two biggest people in the whole of NATO. Anyway, you know. And then it just said Turkey plays a major role. So I'm surprised that they're not, you know, they're I guess their voice carries no weight to a person that says he doesn't regard UN international law or the Constitution. So and then I said, so pretty much the whole world has warned against war with Iran. It says, I'm gonna read this one though. It says, while many global actors have urged restraint, the world is actually quite divided. You know, which is true. Going to you know, you got Matthew chapter 12, right? A kingdom divided against itself. You also have Daniel, I believe is chapter 2, right? 2 and 7, going into the Roman Empire, right, being divided. Okay, partly strong, partly broken, right? The iron and the clay, the toes. That's the current phase that we are in. It says, while many global actors have urged restraint, the world is actually quite divided. As of mid-January 2026, the international response split into three distinct camps. Those issuing direct warnings against a U.S. strike, those supporting U.S. pressure, and those focused on humanitarian concerns. And now it gave me the bullshit ass list, and I didn't agree with it. It says countries that have warned the U.S., and it says Turkey, Russia, China, Gulf neighbors, that's like Saudi Arabia, all that, Iran allies like Venezuela, Cuba, North Korea, right? Then it says entities supporting U.S. pressure, NATO, which is wrong. Turkey is not with it, right? And pretty much some of them also have expressed concern, right, about the attack. So I was like, nah, that's not it. Israel, obviously, America is doing this for Israel, right? So Israel is supporting, of course. Then it says the E3, UK, France, Germany, and these are some of the people that has expressed concerns about situation, you know? So really, all you got there in point two is Israel. Then it says neutral, the UN. Trump doesn't even care about the UN, you know? And it says, however, the UN has also strongly condemned, or it says the Iranian government's violent crackdown on protesters, you know? And basically, I can't think of, you know, when they say the United Nations, anyone in particular, you know, who it might be. It says, Secretary General Antonio expressed grave alarm over potential military force. See, you see that? But as Israel says, strike them now. They have weapons of mass destruction. Okay, so it's only Israel, and that's pursuant to prophecy. All right, so you know, I just want to bring that out. It was interesting. The whole world basically is saying no, don't do it, and Israel's like, yes, do it. Jeremiah 50 and 45. It says, therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh Bashai that he have taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he have proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Okay, it goes on to say, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the stars. You got Isaiah 24, right? The earth shall roll to and fro like a drunkard. All right, we understand and know that Russia and pretty much even America's former allies will join Russia to just attack them, because they're saying how long you continue to do this, and the answer is forever, you know. So ultimately they're gonna attack America. So you know, that's pretty much all I had about it. I got some precepts right here that I'll read. This is Job 20:15. It says, he hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. Yahweh Bashim shall cast them out of his belly. He shall suck the poison of apes. The viper's tongues shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. that which he labored for shall he restore. So it's not he laboring for a greater Israel, right? And even if you got some of these, which this is just statements. I'm thinking, you know, ever since Donald Trump invaded Venezuela, he was saying, "Oh, Russia is primitive. Their missile capabilities are trash, basically." And so now they had some analysts go into the fact that none of y'all can stop the Oceanic missile, right? And they're basically saying you're trying to build up your defenses. It says West hoaxes attempts to keep dominance, right? And that's what they're trying to do. I'll read a little bit of it. It says Western countries are waging a full-scale hybrid war against Russia to maintain their global dominance at all costs. Russian Foreign Minister spokeswoman, right, Maria, said after a webinar of the Global Fact-Checking Network. She also noted that Russia has carefully documented the hoaxes. Okay, it says Western countries are waging a full-scale hybrid war against Russia to maintain their global dominance, right, at any cost. The conflict in Ukraine serves as an active battlefield in this confrontation, right? So they clearly know what's going on. It says Western defense industry faces dead ends despite record investments. So they're saying dude is spending mad money to try to help himself. That goes into Nahum chapter 3, but it's to no avail. Basically, is what they're saying. It ain't gonna help you. Right, and he pointed out West systems cannot intercept Russia's oceanic warheads. And they talking big shit here. So let me go back to over here. Yeah, so they laboring for all this stuff, but it ain't. It's to nothing basically. Job 20:18 it says that which he labored for shall he restore and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because he have violently taken away an house which he buildeth not. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly, he shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left, therefore shall no man look for his goods. Right, and ultimately just bad times for these Edomites, Babylon the Great in the world, right? Because they're about to fight each other, right? And ultimately, at the end of it, America and Israel is obliterated by nuclear missiles. Okay. Um, let me see. Read some of this. Job 22:6. It says, "For thou hast taken a pledge from thy brother for naught, and stripped the naked of their clothing. Thou hast not given water to the weary to drink, and thou hast withholden bread from the hungry. But as for the mighty man, he had the earth, and the honorable man dwelt in it. Thou hast sent widows away empty, and the arms of the fatherless have been broken. Therefore snares are round about thee, and sudden fear troubleth thee." Yeah, and Russia has, I mean, America just has problems. Israel has problems. You know, um, they don't want to, basically, Russia and China and Iran. They don't want those problems. Even Trump is trying to, go to war with China regarding AI and them being in the Western Hemisphere because they're winning, basically. So they feel behind, wherever the case may be. So, it's basically like a lot of problems, you know. So Proverbs 22:16, it says, "He that oppresses the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want." Okay. James 5:1, "Go to now, ye rich men, and weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as a word of fire. You have heaped treasures together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord Yahweh Bashmi of Sabaoth, in the Lord of armies, right? Heaven's armies. And ultimately, the main, we're the ones crying, right? The elect. Because even Trump, say now and again that we built this place, you know? So you see Lord of Sabaoth, which is the Lord of the armies of Israel, right? The chariots, right? The angels, right? And they have heard our cries. And ultimately, for the controversy of Zion, this place is about to be burnt up, all right? But ultimately, pretty much that's all I had. Just want to blow the horn on that also, because, like I said, The only person that's supporting this thing really is Israel, and everyone else in the world is warning against it. Pretty much, they're saying how long, right? Title is the whole world pretty much is saying, "Woe to him that increases that which is not his." How long? All right. So Shalom to the whole elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.